Hello from wherever it's traded members. That's WrestleAnime trying to random state of X and backstage, and we got the wrestling report. Plus, it's another surgery. Plus, whatever else to complete the 30 minutes of our lesson. Now, you're your host, Andy. It's Monday, 11 o'clock. Our traded members, state of X and backstage. Welcome to the show. I'm Traded Steve.
Hey, everybody. Welcome.
So let's see what's. I think I just skipped right past Tanami. Alright, let's see what's going on here this week on Tanami.
Yes.
On Blade Runner, Black Lotus, desperately lost and searching for peace, Ellie hatches a radical plan to put her haunted memories to rest. On Necessities in Classroom, competition between the elite A class and downtrodden E class heats up at the school sports festival of Isogai's livelihood hanging in the balance. On Made in Abyss, Rico and Reg find out more about their past, but the question still remains. Exactly who or what is Reg? On One Piece, after 2 years of rigorous training, the new and improved Straw Hats make their way to Sabati Archipelago, but their long-awaited reunion is spoiled by a villainous gang of imposters. On One Piece, Luffy picks a fight with himself, Chopper falls in with a dubious ground of imitation pirates, and Zoro causes a commotion when he falls asleep in a wrong ship. Naruto's rebooting. Ten-Tail's relentless attack is wearing down Naruto, and Shaka begins to dissipate. Meanwhile, Kakashi and Nobito face each other in a different Kamui dimension. Naruto's rebooting. Ten-Tail's is on the brink of its final transformation and begins to form a massive tail beast bomb. And on Cowboy Bebop, there's an intruder on the Bebop. A strange organism roams the ship, and its touch causes great illness. One by one, the members of the crew fall prey to it. Is it a fatal innovator? A disease? Well, that's your Tanami review, and now to sleep for the rest of the show.
All right, thank you, Brain. Good evening, everybody. It is time once more to get you in the ring and up your address. Let's give it to you, folks. Ring of Honor, as you know, was down recently due to Sinclair Broadcast Group's stock prices sinking. Well, Kevin Eck teased this week that via the Ring of Honor website that a major announcement is going to be revealed this week. It was noted that this news will excite anyone who has ever been an ROH fan once announced. As noted earlier this week, Supercard of Honor 15, set for this April by Ring of Honor, continues to take shape. It was announced that Bandito versus Jonathan Gresham, crowned the undisputed ROH World Champion, will headline the Supercard of Honor event. Supercard of Honor 15 will mark ROH's return from a hiatus, quote-unquote. The event is scheduled for Friday, April Fool's Day from the Curtis Colwell Center in Garland, Texas. The only match announced is Bandito versus Gresham. During the company's hiatus, both interim and original ROH champions have been keeping busy on the independent scene. Representing the company, Jonathan Gresham and Bandito have been featured in promotions like Impact Wrestling, Terminus, GCW, New Japan Pro Wrestling, and others. Ooh. Some news from AEW. January 18th, AEW star Pretty Peter Avalon tweeted that he is now taking bookings for all indie dates and appearances, as his career status is hashtag LFG or Let's Bleeping Go. Close friend of Avalon and AEW star in her own right, Leva Bates, recently provided an update on the AEW star following speculation that his contract with the company was coming to an end. When fans asked Bates later that day if this meant Avalon was finished with AEW, she wrote back, "No, he's still there, just adding indie dates." Despite the update, a conflicting report from PW Insider emerged stating that Peter Avalon did have his deal expire with AEW. He was one of several stars that will be seeing their deals expire in the coming months, as noted earlier today. It is yet to be confirmed, but there are still opportunities for Avalon to work with AEW on a per-performance basis, similar to how some AEW Dark talent is booked. Other AEW stars that have contracts expiring soon include three names in particular: Marco Stunt, Joey Janela, and Brian Cage. Now, Stunt has been off of AEW television since September 2021 and was quietly dropped from the Jurassic Express stable in recent weeks. Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus became AEW Tag Team Champs for the first time as Dynamite moved to TBS and are now recognized by their individual names. Janela was an AEW original, most recently wrestled for AEW against Eddie Kingston for an episode of Dark filmed in Charlotte, North Carolina. He was teamed up with Sonny Kiss for a large majority of his run with the company, and also had some standout extreme spots in some of AEW's first televised matches. Cage, as mentioned earlier today, hasn't been seen on AEW since October 2021, despite reportedly being backstage regularly doing shows. It's also possible that these individuals sign a new deal with the company before their contracts officially expire. We'll have more details. By the way, all the news coming from Wrestling Inc. And here's a little statement. I don't know if that'll be for a laugh or not, but apparently Bruce Pritchard must be drinking more of the WWE Cola. Senior Vice President believes Vince McMahon at 76 can continue to run WWE for the next 25 to 30 years, stating how the WWE chairman has shown no signs of slowing down at all. On his latest Something to Wrestle With podcast, Pritchard looked back on the 2005 Royal Rumble when asked if he could have guessed in 2005 that McMahon would still be running WWE 17 years later. Pritchard said he absolutely expected his boss to still be going strong. Yes, I felt like Vince McMahon would continue running WWE past the early 2000s. Absolutely, Pritchard responded. I can't imagine him not doing it, and I'm sure that he will continue to do it, possibly for the next 25 to 30 years. His mom is 101 and still going, so you know he shows no signs of slowing down at all, and he's a freak of nature. It's hard to imagine it without him, and I don't think that we'll have to imagine it without him for a long time. In recent months, McMahon has been an on-screen storyline with rising Raw superstar Austin Theory. You imagine Vince McMahon running Raw when he's 100? Oh, boy. Okay, let's give you the results of the World on GCW from the Hammerstein Ballroom. Let's, we forget the BS and go straight to the resultables. And here we go, the kickoff show. Big Vin won the Pabst Blue Ribbon Battle Royal. Thunder Rosa and Lufisto also entered as surprises. Grim Reaper defeated Shane Mercer versus Alex Zane versus Jack Cartwheel versus Ninja Mac versus Dante Leon in a scramble match. The main show, let's get to it. Jordan Oliver versus Jimmy Lloyd. Alex Cohen versus G. Raven versus PCO versus Tony Deppen versus AJ Gray in a grab the brass ring ladder match. And the winner of that was AJ Gray, who will now receive a championship match of his choosing at any time. Gringo Loco, Flamita, and Ares versus Bandito, ASF, and Laredo Kid. The winners of that were Gringo Loco, Flamita, and Ares via pinfall. Blake Christian took on Leo Rush, and the winner of that via pinfall, Blake Christian. Joey Janela took on Matt Cardona. Cardona was with his wife, Chelsea Green. Lucky Bidatos. And the winner was Matt Cardona via pinfall. Ali Catch took on Ruby Soho. Ruby Soho won that one via pinfall. Jeff Jarrett took on Effie. Jeff Jarrett won via pinfall. GCW champion Jon Moxley took on Homicide for the GCW World Championship. The winner and still GCW World Champion Jon Moxley. The Briscoes, who are champions, took on Matt Tremont and Nick Cage with Dewey Donovan for the GCW Tag Team Championship. The winners and new GCW Tag Team Champions Nick Gage and Matt Tremont via pinfall. Yay on all of that happening. Okay, let's get you some Hollywood news before we totally wrap this puppy up. Let's get you some TV reports here. NBC Sports this week made the not too surprising announcement that much of the Beijing... Get out of there, you dumbass. Much of its Beijing Olympics team would be covering next month's Winter Games from their headquarters in Stamford, Connecticut, as the COVID pandemic once again disrupted the event. But the international outcry over human rights abuses in China, leading to a U.S. diplomatic boycott, has put extra scrutiny on how the network will cover the games, starting with the telecast of the opening ceremonies on February 4th, with Mike Tirico hosting from Beijing and Savannah Guthrie doing it from their 30 Rockefeller Center studios. Human rights groups have already called on NBC and other broadcasters to drop plans to carry the games, and while that was never a likely prospect, network executives said this week they will add 2 China experts, Andy Brown, former China editor of the Wall Street Journal, and now editorial director of Bloomberg New Economy, as well as Jing Su, a cultural historian who is a Yale professor of China Studies. Quote, "Our coverage will provide perspective on China's place in the world and the geopolitical in which these games are being held," end quote, said Molly Solomon, president, NBC Olympic Production, in a presentation last week in which she was interviewed by Mike Tirico. Quote, "But the athletes do remain the centerpiece of our coverage. The big question is, have they bought their burner phones and old laptops? They do, I hope they destroy them, as others plan to do." So there we go on that. The National Geographic documentary film broke the Sundance Deal logjam with a mid-7-figure pack for Fire of Love. Not bad. Not bad. The deal for Fire of Love is now closed. Deadline has confirmed the release is the big acquisition. And let's see here. Who got it? Well, the bidding began shortly after the film's Thursday premiere screening. Netflix, Nat Geo, Paramount, Sony Pictures Classics, IFC, Universal, Amazon. We're all in on it. But kind of looks like the Nat Geo documentary folks got that one. Yay. Very nice. Speaking of film, oh, yes, we got to go to the box office. Let's go to the box office and see who delivered in time and space. Who got the, let's see, here we go. The old box office. Come on. Come on, work with me, please. It's not going to work with me yet. So I'll just go like this, F, I, C, E. There we go. Let's get the box office numbers, find out who were the top 5 in the box office for this weekend, as little results here, and that'll wrap it up for this portion of, for this show. Spin, spin, spin. This site cannot be reached. Oh, lovely. Here we go. And the numbers for the box office: top 4, Scream from Paramount, followed by Spider-Man No Way Home in second, Sing 2 third, and The Kingsman were 4th place. There you go, the top 4 in the weekly box office bonanza charts. And Brain, I think we've done it.
I think you're right.
So, for the brain, I'm the Baxman. We'll see you next week for another crazoided edition of the WrestleAnime Hut. We'll have more anime, more wrestling, and more entertainment news that you can flick a stick at. This has been a presentation of Brain Scan Entertainment in association with Mystifying Creativity Productions. For the brain, I'm the Baxman. Peace.